Welcome back, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Thanksgiving to our Canadian tribe, and happy Columbus Day to our American tribe, and to everyone else, happy Monday. How about that? Another Conversations on Vitality. Ariel Jarvis over here with James Gardner and myself. Ariel, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy Monday. It's a holiday. It's beautiful. Like this weather. Oh my goodness. Mwah. It's
We
like
have been,
25 degrees in October,
I
mid-October. Like this
know,
is wild.
it's been this
Yeah.
way all week too. It's
I
been almost,
know.
yeah,
It's been hot. Yeah,
I
it's
know.
beautiful.
Woohoo! All right, I know. Just forgive us Vancouverites have to take it when we can get it.
Yeah.
All right. So today, Ariel, we have been following the 11 body systems. Each and every week, we show up and talk about the 11 main body systems. Today, we're going to dive into the musculoskeletal system, which makes up our skeletal muscles, all of that stuff, bones, ligaments, all that jam. So let's kick it off. We're going to obviously educate, and then we'll talk about some warning signs, how to optimize, and just things to set ourselves up for success with that body system. Take it away.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for having me as always. So first of all, we already know what our musculoskeletal system is made up of. It's your muscles, it's your ligaments, your tendons, your joints, all of that. It's your ability to hold up your posture, right? Protect your organs, allows you to have your movement, allows you to be limber. It's also a structure to attach your muscles to your body. And so, something about your muscles is you want to have as much muscle mass as possible because it does decay as you get older. So you do lose muscle mass, and that's where most of your insulin is held. The more insulin you have, the less insulin resistant you can become, aka meaning the less more prone you are to become type 1, type 2 diabetes, right? So we don't want diabetes. And so we want to have as much muscle mass as possible to promote higher amounts of insulin to regulate our glucose entering into the blood when we eat food. So that's super important. The other thing that's also very important is the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn because your metabolic rate goes up, which means you get to eat more turkey dinner. So so it is very important to combat cardio with weight training, right? Because your
Mm.
heart's a muscle. You want to work your heart, but you also want to work your muscles and build as many different fibers as possible just to help with overall insulin regulation as well. In terms of body pH, we know our muscles are made up of mostly water, and our skeletal system is a storage of alkaline minerals, and in the center of your bones is something called bone marrow, which helps you with your stem cells and your bone cells and all the cells that make up your entire body and your immune system. So it's very important to keep the pH of the skeletal system at an alkaline state. If you start to overdo it on the coffee or the alcohol or the carbs or the sugars or anything processed or deep fried or anything that's pharmaceutical, you are starting to manipulate the pH of the skeletal system to an acidic state. And so what will happen is your bone marrow will be affected, your stem cells will be affected, your cells turn over every 25 days. We know this. And so it's very important to maintain an alkaline state to keep those alkaline minerals within the skeletal system. Otherwise, they will start to pour out of the skeletal system over time, and they'll enter into the bloodstream to buffer the bloodstream because your body's becoming too acidic, also known as osteoporosis, or any sort of decay of the bones. Well, what are your teeth, right? We start to see breaking down of your teeth if you have too much sugar, which is acidic. Or we start to notice issues with your spine, that curvature of the spine, or you start to get bad hips or bad knees. This is a sign that you are too acidic and you've been acidic for too long. So turmeric is not going to cut it, right? You don't just throw turmeric into your diet and be like, okay, I think we fixed the problem. That's a Band-Aid. It's a natural Band-Aid, but it's still a Band-Aid. You need to correct the diet, you need to correct your water, and you need to start exercising and finding the movements that you like, whether it be in water, whatever that might be.
Question for you right out of the gate.
Yes.
Acidic environment, what you were just talking about, our bones, our structure, aches and pains, things like that. Is there such a thing as wear and tear mileage, quote unquote mileage on the body. I'm looking in terms of being a high performance athlete most of my life. My body, I got some telltale signs of that. However, is that really me just not having a proper environment through the years?
It's a great question. So wear and tear essentially means that you're stripping electrons from that localized area. So it could be wear and tear. Maybe you're not a typewriter, but maybe you work with your hands all the time. Maybe you're a welder. Maybe you're always bent over, working in a truck. There's always wear and tear on a localized area. There's a lot of pressure on that area. And what is essentially happening on a particle level, on electrical level, is electrons are being reduced and inflammation is being increased. And we're talking specifically about high performance athletes and your skeletal system. Well, if you're eating properly and you're getting all of your elements that are going to rebuild your skeletal system, because the cells turn over every 25 days, then you should be technically be putting back what you're taking out. Just like using a car, you refuel every time you use up the fuel, right? And a lot of people, they don't have a proper understanding about the elements on the periodic table in their food. And so they might be putting more energy out and not putting the key minerals back in to re-support the skeletal system that was under all that pressure to begin with. So if you are indeed very aligned with what you're eating and you are working with a nutritionist, sports nutritionist, you're putting all of that back, then essentially your bones should not decay. They should not break down on you. They should actually strengthen over time. Just like if you were to break a bone, it's stronger when it repairs. No different than wear and tear on your body. It's just people don't realize that wear and tear on your body is an acidic state. It's called acidosis, right? You build up lactic acid. So you need to make sure you have proper, it's a formula. So you have to have proper rest, recovery, and restoration of whatever fuel you used up in that body system.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Okay, so we have a massive system that includes, you were talking bones, we have ligaments, tendons. Is cartilage considered part of the skeletal system? Okay.
Yeah, cartilage, joints, anything cushioning to help your entire posture, your system, your skeletal system stand up, move, muscles attach, protecting the organs, all that sort of stuff. So we already know it's an alkaline state. So it's an alkaline storage of minerals. And so some of the things that can help you with the wear and tear to rebuild the different types of storage material would be gotu kola, and not Coca-Cola, gotu kola. This is an Ayurvedic herb. And anyone that is an athlete, you should be taking this to protect your shoulders. So you don't blow out a shoulder, blow out a hip, blow out a knee, right? This is going to help you with the wear and tear on the ligaments and the tendons specifically. It regrows any fibrins that have been destroyed in the act of warfare, right? So whether you go and do a bench press and you blow out your shoulder, well, maybe you should have been taking some gotu kola. Making sure you're getting healthy fats. So there used to be a thing back in the 80s where people would avoid fat and they went crazy on the fat free, and they were all developing skeletal issues because their body system became so weak as they aged because they didn't have the building blocks to put back the fuel that was being taken from the skeletal system in the first place, which is your healthy fats. So don't be afraid of polyunsaturated fats, healthy saturated fats. The only ones you want to stay away from are the trans fats. So that would be like your hydrogenated fats, margarine, deep fried foods, things like that. That's not considered healthy fat. But don't be afraid of your walnuts and all your seeds and your nuts and your different types of butters that are plant-based and nut-based. Don't be afraid of eating meat, right? People are so afraid of eating meat because of the fats. There's certain types of fats that are good for you, and there's a certain amount that you need every day.
Because you mentioned shoulders and hips, for example, like, when we have these kind of ball and socket joints, or where the synovial fluid is released, are there certain things that can help to ensure that lubrication happens through? Is it proper fatty acids? Is it obviously hydrating and ionized water and all that? But are there some other things to take for that?
Yes. So get your pen and paper. The list would be you want to take collagen 1 to 3 times a day. It can be marine collagen or it can be bovine, which is cow, but make sure it's grass fed. And there's 3 types of collagen. There's collagen 1, collagen 2, and collagen 3. So make sure that your collagen has all 3. You want to have vitamin D, but you want to have zinc, silicon, B6, and manganese. Okay.
Jeez.
So those are the go-tos, the healthy fats for the joints, and then go to cola for the wear and tear. So that is more for people that are noticing that maybe the shoulders are not the same as they used to be, or the hips or the knees. And this is even for people that maybe have a surgery booked. I had a lady, and her testimonial is actually on our website. And she had a spinal surgery booked for 4 months. She had to wait 4 months. So I said, will you be willing to work with me for 4 months and give me every ounce of effort that you have for 4 months? She used to be an alcoholic. She used to be addicted to heroin. She used to be on the streets, doing all kinds of drugs. She was on pharmaceuticals because of she got addicted to oxys for a car accident that she was in. And then they cut her off her supply. So then she had to find other pain management. And then she got addicted to alcohol and she smoked. She did it all. Her body was so acidic that over time, her bone density in her spine started to break down and her entire spine was decaying and it was just bone on bone. And she was in so much pain. And the doctors were like, well, you did that to yourself. And it was just one of those things where the pain just kept getting worse and worse and worse because she didn't understand how her body worked. She wasn't empowered. And I said, can you give me 4 months? I'm going to slowly help your body reset itself because your bones will actually regrow their bone density. So we got her on ionized water. We got her on to help restore the electrons in the spine. We helped her with her diet, which was extremely clean and it was specific to her needs. We got her to reduce her smoking down to 1 cigarette a week. She was doing 2 packs a day.
Wow.
We have a whole protocol to help your body get off the addiction with smoking. And so we put her on that program and we put her on a herbal program. So a couple supplements, couple herbs, the ones I recently just mentioned. And in 4 months, she went back in for her pre-op appointment and they redid her spinal x-ray and everything. And they canceled her appointment because her bone density had actually grown back in 4 months.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Because every 25 days it turns over. And it was enough turnover where they actually saw there was some sort of transition. There was some sort of observational change. So they just let it take its course. And now she's totally fine. She's not in a wheelchair. And she was supposed to get a rod put in her back, an entire rod, steel rod put in her back. So I asked her for a testimonial. She happily gave it to me. And, you know, she's now part of our community, you know,
That's
our
beautiful.
recovery community.
Yeah.
So stuff like this happens all the time in our clinic. It's just, it takes an awareness and an openness and a vulnerability to come to us and be like, I have a problem. Do you have a solution? And it requires a little bit of education and a little bit of effort. You know, she had to drink the water. She had to do the diet. She had to take the supplements and she had to trust the process. Right. And we were there for weekly encouragement calls because if you don't see results within the first month, people tend to disbelieve.
Yeah.
But, you know, just like Narnia, you have to believe. So it's pretty cool what happens when you start to believe in yourself and you start to trust the process. And after 4 months, I mean, now she's a full-on believer. Now she's just doing it and she loves the process. And she's
That's
not
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What a story. What a story. Ariel, I want to just hone in one moment on collagen.
Sure.
So just because it seems like every other social media post is somebody with a collagen gel or a goo or something.
Yep.
And a spoon.
Yep.
Doing the pose. Why? What's going on? So I know it's important.
Yes.
You listed the three. Just give us a little Cole's notes on collagen.
Yes. So our body naturally makes collagen up to the age of 25, and then it starts to drop off. And every 3 to 5 years, it drops off significantly. And so at a certain point, you'll only be producing about 15% collagen, and it comes from the fundamentals of your diet. So you don't just produce collagen on your own, you actually produce it from what you're eating. And
Mm,
it has to be 3 amino acids that come from marine food or meat. You can't make it from plant based. And so you have to somehow take it from a different source. But that doesn't mean that you have to eat fish. You could do phytoplankton,
right.
right?
Okay.
Anything that is that photosynthesizes is considered life,
Mm,
right? So you can take it through different types of chlorella, spirulina,
yep.
different types of phytoplankton. You can also get it through fish. You can also get it through beef, right? So there, and it comes from the bones. It comes from the skeletal system, right? Or it comes from the chitin, which is the hard surface. And so there's so many different forms. There's powders, there's gels, there's liquids, there's tinctures, there's capsules. It gets a little overwhelming. You need to make sure that you actually have the bioavailability behind it. And you also have to understand that your gut has to be intact, meaning that if your gut is off, it doesn't matter how good the product is, you might not be absorbing it well.
Right.
Liquids are always absorbed better because they actually make sure that the liquid is in an alkaline state. Now, if you're taking a powder, like we carry a powder, but we don't recommend you drink it with tap water,
Mm,
right? We recommend you drink it with negative charged water so that your cells will actually absorb it properly. So there's a lot of liquids out there. I do recommend a liquid. We don't carry a liquid. However, make sure you read the ingredients because a lot of the liquids that I used to recommend, I don't recommend them anymore because the new ingredient is sugar, right? Because they want it to
mm.
taste good.
Yeah. Of
So,
course.
right? They want you to take something and it needs to taste good. So they kind of ruined it for you, right? Because now it's not going to get absorbed properly and it's going to do more harm than good. So make sure there's no sugar and make sure there's no maltodextrin and make sure there's no fillers. The second thing is if you get a powder, make sure it has all 3 collagens and make sure it either says marine, organic, or it says grass-fed. Those are some things to look at. If it's a gel, that's a little concerning because what's the gel made out of? Right?
Right.
So just
And-
because it says collagen, you want to look a little deeper. You need to do some investigation. And you can
yes.
always email us, right? You can email us a supplement that we don't carry and we can look up into it for you and we can make a recommendation. We do it all the time. We're not biased to buying our products. We have a clinic. We hold over 300 products in our store that we've outsourced for you, and they are good quality and we will stand behind them. But if you find something out there that is very good for your body, we won't recommend against it. We'll just maybe look into it for you.
Sure. That's great. That's great. And collagen is its sole effect is what? Elasticity? What would you like? What does it do specifically?
It actually helps you not just with your skin with elasticity, it helps you with your gut lining. It helps you with your brain function. It
Ah,
helps you with your cartilage. It helps you with the cushioning between your vertebrae. It helps you with the cushioning between your dextrate, your fingers, your knees, your joints. It helps you with your teeth. It helps you with so much. Every part of the skeletal system requires a little bit of collagen, and that's why you need all 3 collagen in
gotcha.
it, all 3 forms, right? Because it's a layering effect.
Got it. Good to know. All right. So again, a couple of things here as we wrap up. Musculoskeletal. Big thing is the importance to work out, the importance to do some resistance training because the more muscle we have, or the longer we keep a good muscle density in our system, the better we are with insulin. So that's a big thing,
Correct.
right? Prevention of type 1, type 2 diabetes potentially down the road. Okay.
Yes.
And the other thing is the acidity of the environment from nutrition or lack thereof of proper nutrition and proper ionized water and so forth, creates a potential wear and tear environment whereby we can deplete our bodies of calcium, of the density of our bones, and start to lose that structure and support of posture and right biomechanics that we see, because we see this a lot with elderly. We see, their gait has been altered, the way they walk, and their posture has kind of degenerated, right?
Mm-hmm. They all become coffee drinkers and pie eaters, and they forget all about water.
And bingo.
I don't know what it is, but they all love coffee and they all love pie.
You know what it is? It's because we get to a certain age, we're like, I just want to be happy. I just want to eat. I want to play bingo. I want to eat, play cards, watch TV. All right. I mean, try to convince our parents to do something healthy. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Right?
It's so cute. I just want to kind of debunk though something that obviously a lot of people are aware of and a lot of people maybe are not. So if this is something new to you, but dairy, right? We have to drink milk to get vitamin D for our bones. This is debunked and this is a myth. And so a lot of companies out there that are in this industry have spent thousands and millions on marketing to get you to buy their product, to make you think that it's healthy for you. And science has proven that dairy products are actually so acidic that any vitamin D, the phosphorus binds to it and you cannot absorb it. And so what happens is the acidity actually pulls vitamin D and calcium from your bones. So it does the opposite. It steals the minerals from your bones and it creates bloating within the gut. And because it's a mucus forming food, your body will create mucus within its membranes and go into straight inflammation.
100%.
Yeah. So just be mindful about that next time you reach for some cheese or some cream cheese or, anything that's dairy, because it's not giving you the vitamin D and calcium that you think it's giving you.
I truly feel most of us know this instinctively now, but we can't. Right? It's so hard to give up the cheese. People, I mean, adults now, like I don't even know anyone that drinks a glass of milk, to be honest.
I do.
Do you really?
Yes. Every day for strong bones. And I'm like, or they give it to their children because maybe they're not making enough breast milk. And so they're giving cow's milk or baby formula to their babies. And I'm like, it's 2022. We still here? Like, I'm a little confused. So it's all good if that's you. But now you know. And if you have questions, we love you. But if you have questions, Mama's here. Mama will teach you.
Yeah, it's that cheese. It's the hardest thing though for people.
You got to try the cashew cheese. It's so good.
Oh, but I have a nut allergy, so I can't try the cashew cheese.
Oh, my friend, that sucks.
Curse! I'm cursed.
Try the goat cheese. Do the goat cheese.
Yeah. The lesser of two evils. There you go.
Yes, there you go.
All right. Ariel, amazing dive today. Thank you as always. And again, gang, everyone out there, it was really important what Ariel said too. If you have a supplement, if you have anything, whether it's you want to put it on the Facebook comments here or reach out to the clinic, the information is in the post, of course. Do so. Ariel and her team will give you a non-biased, objective insight into whatever it is you're thinking of taking, and be there with support. So it's a beautiful thing, and Ariel is always just one click away, truthfully. So awesome.
And remember, I know sign language. So for those of you that are watching this, I know there's lots of you that have questions that can't hear. So maybe you're watching this on closed caption. Reach out to me. We can FaceTime. I can speak to you over with sign language. So I do have deaf patients all around the world that I've never even met because we can speak over Zoom. So reach out to us as well.
All right. Bye for now, Ariel. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Happy Thanksgiving.